All right, let's dive into what is easily one of the most famous and, let's be honest, most misunderstood stories ever written, Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. We're going to pull this whole thing apart and see what really makes this tragedy tick.
For hundreds of years, we've been told this is it, the peak of romance, the ultimate story of star-crossed lovers. And yeah, that's the version we all kind of know, right? Love against all odds. But is that really the whole picture?
Because when you actually look at the clock, this whole epic love story, it all goes down in about 4 days. It's really a story about chaos, bad decisions, and a whole lot of terrible luck. So which is it? An epic romance for the ages, or a complete and utter teenage disaster? Let's find out.
So, here's our game plan for breaking this down. We're going to start with the setting, a city just soaked in hate. Then we'll see a love that sparks in an instant. From there, it's all secrets and violence, which leads to a desperate, kind of half-baked plan. And, well, you know how it ends, a tragic legacy. Okay, first things first. Before we can even talk about Romeo or Juliet, you have to understand the world they live in. Their city, Verona, is basically a powder keg just waiting for a match. At the heart of it all are two major families who just despise each other. The Montagues, that's Romeo's family, and the Capulets, Juliet's side. And our two heroes are born on opposite sides of a fight they had nothing to do with. This isn't some friendly rivalry. We're talking about generations of pure, unfiltered hatred that has poisoned the entire city.
And Shakespeare, he doesn't mess around. He tells you this right from the jump. This line from the very beginning says it all. This ancient grudge keeps exploding into new fights, and regular citizens are ending up with their neighbor's blood on their hands. That's the world Romeo and Juliet are born into. Pretty grim.
So into this city that's just simmering with hate, Shakespeare throws in the most absolute powerful love imaginable. The second Romeo Montague crashes a Capulet party and sees Juliet Capulet, that's it. The fuse for the entire play is lit.
And the timeline here, it's just wild. This is not a slow burn. This is a lightning strike. They meet Sunday night. By Monday morning, they're secretly married. And by Thursday morning, they're both dead. That incredible speed is so important. Their love story moves at the exact same breakneck pace as the violence all around them.
And get this, Juliet decides she's going to marry Romeo after knowing him for all of 3 hours. 3. So you tell me, is that fate, or is that maybe the first in a long line of really impulsive decisions?
Okay, and this is the turning point. This is where their private little love story smashes head-on into the public feud, and everything just starts to fly off the rails.
So Romeo, who's literally just come from his own secret wedding, wanders into a street brawl. Juliet's hot-headed cousin, Tybalt, kills Romeo's best friend, Mercutio, and Romeo, in a fit of rage, turns around and kills Tybalt. In just one afternoon, their secret marriage is followed by 2 dead bodies.
And as he's dying, Mercutio, who by the way isn't a Montague or a Capulet, he curses both families. His famous line, "A plague o' both your houses," is the moment everything pivots. He's basically saying, your pointless feud is a disease and it's killing everyone, even people who have nothing to do with it, like me.
For killing Tybalt, the punishment for Romeo is swift and brutal. He's banished from Verona, kicked out, gone. Their marriage is barely a few hours old and they're already ripped apart. This crisis forces them to take some really, really desperate measures.
Which brings us to the famous plan, the one cooked up by Friar Lawrence to get these two back together. It's a plan that's born out of total desperation, and as we're about to see, it is tragically, fatally flawed.
Okay, so let's break down this interesting plan. Step 1, Juliet drinks a potion that makes her look dead. No big deal. Step 2, the friar sends a letter to Romeo to let him know what's up. Step 3, Romeo sneaks back, gets her from the tomb when she wakes up. Step 4, they run away and live happily ever after. Sounds simple, right? What could possibly go wrong?
Oh, just about everything. The entire plan, the whole shebang, depends on one thing, that letter. But because of a plague outbreak and a quarantine, talk about bad luck, the messenger can't deliver it. The letter explaining everything never gets to Romeo. And that one single failure turns this whole escape plan into a recipe for disaster.
And that one undelivered letter leads us right to the end. The whole final tragic act is set in motion because a grieving kid got the wrong news at the wrong time.
So Romeo hears that Juliet is dead, and he believes it. He rushes to her tomb, drinks poison, and dies right beside her. And then, literally minutes later, Juliet wakes up. She sees him lying there, dead, and she takes her own life. It is the absolute worst timing in the history of the world, a perfect storm of bad information.
So what do we take away from this 400-year-old play? Well, for one, it's a huge flashing warning sign about how hate can just rot everything from the inside out. It's also a perfect picture of that intense, all-consuming, maybe not so rational first love. But more than anything, it tackles that massive question. Are we in control, or is it all just fate? This story shows that sometimes the biggest tragedies hinge on the smallest things, like one lost letter.
And that's really the big question, isn't it? The one people have been arguing about for centuries. Were they star-crossed, doomed from the very start, or did they seal their own fate with this series of impulsive, reckless choices? The amazing thing about the play is it never really tells you. It just leaves you to wonder.